So
It's live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to PRM Chats. Yet again, another week. We're actually focused on, for this month again, Mental Health Awareness Month, on the topic of mental health and, of course, self-care and wellness, holistic healing, all of that good stuff. And, of course, we committed as an organization to focus for 4 weeks. That's 4 weeks on really focusing on mental health and wellness for Mental Health Awareness Month. And, of course, each week we'll be presenting different guests, featuring different topics. This is our third, right? In the a series of 4 that we're doing and committed to for the month of May. And I told y'all we were gonna have a couple of surprise guests, honey. And of course, none other than Ms. Tasha Ruth on this end. And of course, Dr. Wilson all the way from New York, honey. Yes, she's here live in the living color. Thank you so much, Dr. Wilson, for being a part of PRM Chat while you're here in town. Of course, we welcome hosting you always. So thank you again. All right, so I'm going to turn this lovely topic over to Ms. Hillary Honeybee. She's going to be facilitating this week's topic. And again, we host these conversations amongst ourselves as sisters, right? And so we thought it would be a great idea to bring this live, have these discussions where you guys can interact with the same topics that we talk about within our own sisterhood. And of course, we like interactive conversations, so keep it going in the chats. Make sure that you comment, make sure that you share, tag, share, subscribe, especially for where we're hosting this, which is on our PRM Project Resiliency Movement page, as well as our YouTube page. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Hillary Honeybee.
Oh, you do that so well.
Yes, Dr. B.
But hey guys, good morning. Happy Saturday. It is beautiful out. I don't know about you. This 80 degrees got me feeling like all kinds of just good inside. So,
yes.
We're just going to hold you up for like maybe about 45 minutes to an hour as we chat amongst ourselves and with you. But today I wanted to address in the month of May with Mental Health Awareness, unmasking, like what does that look like? And the reason how I came up with the topic is because I know for a fact that a lot of us are walking around and we're, you can see that there are things going on, whether it's good or bad, but you see that there's a lot going on, and of course we have to put a shield up. We have to put on that face every day, whether it's the wife face, the mom face, the business face versus, I need to just relax face. I'm going through some financial face, or, what am I going to spend my money on face? So we're all going through some stuff,
Or I gotta be brave face.
Yes. And in my mind, when I started talking about this and thinking about this, I was just like, there's too many of us masking every single day. Some of it is good, some of it I don't feel is good, in my personal opinion. So I kind of wanted to see what does that look like for everyone. I mean, hopefully you guys are willing to share and talk about it with us, because I know that's what we're going to be doing. And in that aspect, I guess my first question would be, why do we mask?
Because we are fearful of how others will define us if they really know our truth. Mm-hmm. And it's easier to mask and take on a character and a persona than to really, truly, authentically be yourself at all times. And that's probably the realest definition as to why.
Wow, that's good. Tasha, what do you think?
I think a lot of people mask themselves because judgmental, or they just don't know how to be vocal about certain things or share it with people. And not so much even about someone being judgmental, but fear. Mm-hmm. Just scared, or just don't know how to ask for help.
It's a big one right there.
Or don't have safe circles to even be able to let their guard down in.
Yeah,
that's a big piece of it too. So yeah, you're in a lot of circles, but are any of those circles safe?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that could be a part of it.
Or are they even supportive?
Safe or supportive? Yeah. Right.
So for me, because I recently lost my dad unexpectedly, and of course you guys know I am a social butterfly, but I started to travel in silos. I was home, not out as much, but only time I will come out will be with certain people. Mm-hmm. If you see me out, it's only with certain people. It will be with the PRM group, It would be with my sister girlfriend that I've been friends with forever, and it would be family members. Anything outside of those three circles, you will not see me hanging with.
Because that's where your safety net
because
lies.
that was my safety net.
Mhm.
And I knew if something happened or if I became sad or had a breakdown, that you guys would support me and you guys love me unconditionally.
There you already know.
But that's the
You don't
reason
got
though,
choice.
because if you, but if you think about it, if
Yeah.
you go out and you're around so many people and social like I am, those people, not everybody have good intentions.
Yeah.
And that goes to what just came up in my spirit, which is sometimes we mask because we're protecting our energy from people. So like you're protecting your energy because like if people really knew what your truth, what would they do with the information? How would they use it against you? You know, like you like it's like you're scared about people's ulterior motives, and you can't trust their motives and their agendas being around you. So sometimes that's why people mask. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it inside and hold it because I don't know, and because I've been burned so many times in the past with people knowing my truth.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna hold on to it.
Or your image.
Yeah. Or that too.
Dr. Wilson, what about you? What you think?
I think Dr. Bates kind of like took the words out of my mouth with sharing your truth, because not, a lot of times we are in environments or in communities, some of the communities we live in or come up in, where we're embraced for our truth. So when you tell the truth, you're judged. And then when you're real, you're judged. So it's like, I may as well just keep a mask on because it doesn't make a difference until you're introduced to those who embrace you for your truth. And sometimes, it takes us to become adults, like, real life grown women and men, to meet people that accept us for exactly who we are. So I talk about that in my Moon Jewels book, about unconditional, and can you love someone outside of your children for exactly who they are, for all that they are? Can we really, really do that? And I can honestly say I'll be 45, so it took me at least 42 years to experience living that truth. Of knowing that I met someone that I connected to, and I was able to love them regardless of how I felt about their decisions about themselves, what they did, or about our relations together as friends or business. And even if it made me angry, it was like God teaching a lesson. Somewhere in there was a lesson, and it was time to learn that, okay, we know you love your kids regardless of what they do, but can you love your sister or your brother?
I don't know, because I know a lot of people that don't love their kids.
Well,
unconditional.
Yeah.
And they treat their children like they treat anybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
those are really, really different, wicked.
And what's coming up in my spirit when y'all talk about that is generational curses. So it's like when the conversation, like the word just kept popping up that got put in my spirit was generational curses. And sometimes the thing is, people have never experienced freedom. Because
that's where
masking is handed down
element of freedom
from generation to generation, and you're taught masking. Masking is learned. It's learned behavior.
It's learned behavior.
Families or whoever you learn your truth from.
Well, we learn that when we little, right?
Yeah.
You don't say what's going on.
Family business, right?
I don't care who's not. Don't open my door.
You keep your mouth closed.
What goes on in this house stays in this house. Yep.
Right?
And y'all can add the rest of them. Add the rest of them in the chat.
Right?
But you know what I discovered? I discovered, and this is just me, my truth on it. The element of freedom is acceptance of, can you accept someone for exactly who they are? Mistakes, flaws, greatness, sadness, whatever, whatever it is, right? Can you love like God? Can we love God like?
You can
But you know what, too?
The only way you can do that is if you love yourself.
I was just gonna say that.
Exactly.
If
So
you don't have love
what did
of
I
self,
tell you? What did I tell you?
you
I'll
can't
be
even get to
45,
that
right?
space too.
And I'll be 45, right? So I said it took me how long?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't love it, that's phase one.
Because
Yes. So it took me to lose my husband to love me.
fact is, a lot of us walking around here, we don't even love ourselves. So how is it that we're supposed to know how to give love if we don't even know how to give ourselves that same respect, that same freedom that, you know, you want to give it to others, but you can't because you haven't even given it to yourself yet.
You know, somebody taught me a long time ago that there's a difference between freedom and liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we were given freedom, like the slaves, for instance, right? In this country, you were given freedom, right? Emancipation Proclamation. But we don't have certain liberties, right? So we have freedom, but there's you know, as free African Americans in this country, we don't have certain liberties because those liberties are based on privilege.
Yes.
Right. So I'm just putting it out here, and I
see how it breaks down.
Yeah. In the same light, when it comes to who you are personally, sometimes people hold themselves, they give themselves freedom, but they haven't liberated themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you out here, you're free, you living your life, but you're not liberated.
Right.
You're not living
Which
your life unapologetic.
different things.
Right.
I have to agree with what you said, Dr. Bates. Like, you can't do any of those things, and Hillary too, until you love yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And oftentimes we're not taught what it is, what love is.
We don't have a model for it.
Yeah.
So we continue the masking process from generation, because that's probably what some of us know. Yeah. And it's not even our own fault. No, it's just like that's what's handed down. And you know, you hand it's tradition. You hand that down to the next generation.
Yes.
You know, and right now it's like I think we're at a stage where people are kind of becoming aware and woke, and they're kind of questioning values and ethics and certain things that were probably passed and handed down. Which ones are good, which ones are bad? You kind of have to go through and decipher that and create some new thing out of that. Yeah. Some new traditions.
It's okay. It's okay to create those new traditions for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're trying to live your life, and you're trying to live your life in your most unapologeticness. But until you understand what you need for self,
and then
you really can't do that.
It's sometimes it's going back and unpacking, like, okay, so why do we do this?
Yeah.
Like, I had to go back and ask my mom, so like, why do we do some of these things? And she said, you know what? Because I didn't really know better, and my mom did it. And she said,
how many of you have actually went and sat with your grandparents, went and sat with your parents or your aunties, and just said, look, like, why is things this way? Like, why do we handle things this way? Like, why do we sweep so much underneath the rug? Like, why don't we address things? How many of you guys have ever had that conversation? How many of you guys have ever have that conversation if you have children with your children? Mm-hmm. Especially if you recognize what it is that you need to be addressing. How many of you are talking with your children about these things as well? So just things to think about as we're having this conversation.
I remember my mom asking me, she asked me the question, if you could go back, what could I have done differently? Ooh. And that gave me permission to kind of openly share like all the things that I was kind of like holding on to, like, man, like, you know, like when I'm grown and I can actually have this conversation, this is what I'm gonna share with my mom. But she gave me room and permission to share it in that moment. You know what I mean? And she continues to ask me that question, like, you know, is there anything else that you think that I could have done differently? Like, you know, I apologize for what I did if I, in a lot of this, because I didn't know better. It was handed down traditions that I handed over to you. So, but now that I know better, I'm trying to do better. So if there's things that, you know, I can do differently, let me know. I apologize for what I didn't know, and I'm willing to change if you tell me if there's things that I can change.
Yes.
And it's good that you say that, because even though you had that conversation with your mom, and you guys are very open and transparent, I had that same conversation with my mom, my dad, and my sister. So it was just like family breakfast. My daughter was there, and we talked about some of the challenges and some of the things that took place within the family as far as relatives. Because sometimes you can struggle with your relatives, and you wonder why, like, Dad, why is this like this? Yeah. Where is the disconnect?
The tension, the friction, the awkwardness amongst family members.
Right. All the time. Why are people treated differently because we live from state to state? We're blood. It shouldn't matter. right?
It shouldn't. You're
It
right.
shouldn't, but
Right, and if you grew up with your cousins, right, you go down there every year, travel south, you grow up with your cousins, you think there's a bond, there's a connection, but you guys are actually different.
Yeah.
You grew up in different households,
yeah, different environments.
different
race.
environments.
Yep. I agree. Great. Oh my God.
And then too, even with that piece, with me even working with different people and being in different circles, I say, is there anything I can do differently? Did I help you today? You know, I'm sorry, sis. I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong? You know, and we do need to say that to our
Absolutely.
peers. We do need to say that to our sister girls.
That's what accountability looks
You
like.
may not know, you may have said something to hurt them, to upset them, or make them feel awkward at that time. And if we don't take a step back and say, if you thought in your head like, dang, did I really just say that to Hillary? You know you was wrong. You need to turn around. Hey, sis, I'm sorry I said that.
Yep. I agree. I think we also need to be mindful of the fact that, you know, other people didn't grow up like you. Some may have, some may not have. Sometimes it looks a little similar. We all know that. But to be mindful of how it is, and not say walk on eggshells around people, but be mindful about how it is that you talk. And I know for me, because I am the way I am, I try and tend to be as really mindful in when I'm in other people's spaces, because I don't want to offend. I don't want them to feel like, oh my God, like, who the heck she thinks she is, you know, but at the same time, this is who I am. I know who I am, so I can move in that space. Now, I'm not trying to say by any means I don't mask, because I do. There are masks that I put on every single day, because that's who I need to show up as at that time, in that moment, in that space.
Let me just say this. There's a difference between being in a full-time mask mode.
Yes.
And then there's also having safe spaces where you can truly kind of like let your guard down.
Yes.
But everybody doesn't need to be in that inner sanctum, inner circle. So as long as you have an inner sanctum, inner circle group or accountability group or network that you can let your guard down and truly be authentic.
Yourself. Yeah.
I think that's the difference. Everybody don't need to be that
Part
to you.
of it.
Everybody doesn't need to be part of that.
Exactly.
Everybody shouldn't have access. That's what I mean to
Yeah.
say.
Everybody don't need the invite.
They don't
Right.
need to have that.
Right, but you need to have that. You need to have that space, that authentic, transparent space that you could be truly who you are with. But what I'm saying is, everybody doesn't need an invitation to that.
Exactly.
But you need to have that. And if you don't, consider making sure that you figure out how to make room for that in your life, because it's necessary. Nobody can go around 24/7 masking, and if you do, then yeah, we need to unpack that.
Yeah. Like you're saying, the generational curses. You know,
Your book bag is too heavy.
generational. Some people have generational hatred. You know, you have people who don't like you because they didn't like your mother.
Yeah.
Or they didn't like your father. Like in my situation, my uncle killed my father, right? So that's my mother's uncle. My great uncle killed my dad. So I have my father's family who have, you know, their vision and version of who my mother is, right? So I become a product of her family's word I want to use. It's like I'm just shot by default, right? Because it's my mother. And her family killed my father. So they would want to, you know, they're angry. And disassociate, disattachment from my mother because her uncle killed their family member. But then there's me, right? So what happens with me?
Right.
The one who grew up in knowing very close with my father's family. That's all, you know, all I knew, both sides of my family, but very close with them, took me everywhere, always around them, always this, always that. So he dies, and then now is my mother supposed to, you know, create this relationship, this ongoing thing, because they're angry because her family member killed their family.
Wow.
So now I have, you know, like I put a post up last Sunday. I took it down after like 8 hours. It's like, all right, I'm over it. But I had, you know, because sometimes, like you're saying, with this mask, right? So I'm walking around with this mask on. What can I say on here? 'Cause you know I'll be getting uncut sometimes. But
So you choose it.
yeah, okay, so I'm walking around with this fucking mask on because I know that they love me by default. I know that you deal with me because you deal with me. We got
Right.
funerals, weddings or
Mhm.
barbecues that come up. So you're going to see me. Outside of that, we have no relationship.
Wow.
We have no relation. So now I put the post up. It was pertaining to, I know Dr. Bates saw it because she's my detective slash coach slash mother. So look, I put the post up and I said, you know, I woke up and I was feeling that way, Hillary. And I said, I don't want to wear no fucking mask today. And I want to say this. So my cousins were feeling away because everyone has this family Zoom that they put together because they're doing a family reunion. I'm never on the Zoom. So everyone texts me Sunday, where you at? Why you not in the room? Why you not this? Why you not that? We all doing this. And I'm like, for fucking what? So I felt like talking about that. I said, so my family's feeling away because I failed to join the family Zooms on Sunday about family reunion or whatever. Then I said, 90% of y'all don't like me. And I only see y'all at funerals. So why you want me in the Zoom? That was my post. So I left it up there for like 8 hours. And then after the 8 hours, I say, you know what? It's not even worth it. One of my sister friends was like, why are you even feeding into that or even giving them that space or that energy?
Yeah,
I
agree.
I said, you know, you're right, but I just felt like I didn't care, like in that moment. And I know that some of y'all are like this because my uncle killed your family member. And I know a lot of you don't like my mother. However, that has nothing to do with me.
No.
Girl, family is a trip.
So when I see you motherfuckers fake seeing me outside,
We do have to, yeah, because you know, they will censor us.
sorry, like when we're in a public environment, so like you're in a DMV and you see like an uncle or aunt, you see them see you, but they act like they didn't. I see how fake see me, and I don't see her at funerals and stuff. So why I want to fake, you know, act like y'all
But you know,
don't-
that's a lot that you have to unpack there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Family,
I decided that
unmasking
I'm over
family
it,
stuff
Hillary.
is super
Family stuff is
Hillary, I decided last Sunday. I decided that I don't have to go to the family reunion, and I don't have to put these masks on,
You
and
don't.
I don't have to fake kiss you and hug you and how you been. You know where I'm at. You know how I've been. You know where I am. I don't have to do any of those things.
Exactly.
I'm just not going to join the Zoom, and I'll see you when somebody dies. Like,
That's what I love about being grown. Being
yeah,
an
I've
adult.
decided that that's what it is.
Yes,
It's a generational
My,
hatred.
what I've learned to do is love people, but also love them from a distance.
Distance.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I can forgive you, I can love you, but you don't need to be in my sphere of influence.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you don't need to be up under me. Like, you know, like I can, but that doesn't mean I don't love you. That doesn't mean I don't have respect for you. But like everybody doesn't have
Doesn't
to
mean
be.
I'm not gonna pray for you.
No, none of that.
None of that.
But
Yeah, you have to pray that away.
yeah,
You just pray that situation away, and you say, I love you, I care about you,
Mhm.
and you move on.
yeah.
Because
But I'm gonna love you from over there.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah, because what we're not going to do is keep doing this. That's what we're not going to do. So,
So yeah, and since we talked this mental awareness month, right?
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
So one of the things for me, my mom didn't know I suffered from depression for a very long time because when I was born, my eyes were crossed. So most of you will see I have a lazy eye sometimes.
I do too,
wandering,
girl.
right?
Me too.
But
I got corrected.
I had corrective surgery, right? When
Yeah.
I was little. I lived in Newington Children's Hospital for like
Me
5
too.
years.
Me too.
Mhm. I had to wear an eye patch.
Me
So
too.
just imagine in the 70s and the 80s.
wow.
And I lived by Weaver,
Yeah.
and I lived by Weaver High School back then. Well, my mom still lived over there in Andover, but still, imagine that whole neighborhood, Ross and Blue Hills area, filled with kids, and here I am with my eye patch on.
So the
And I
eye
used-
patch corrects the
Well, after the surgery,
After
so
the
it can
surgery,
make-
yeah.
so it can strengthen your eye.
Strengthen your eyes.
Well, no, actually, even before, because I know me growing up, that was one of the ways they felt that I could correct my eye. But because when you're young, you're wearing an eye patch and you have these Coca-Cola glasses, these kids are cruel. Who's doing that?
Right.
Very.
Very
No.
cool. So that's
and
the
they do
thing.
like a surgery. To,
Yeah.
Yeah, to correct it because it goes it's naturally drawn towards.
Yeah.
I didn't have the surgery
Really?
until
I
I
had
was in my 30s.
I had it at 13.
It's
Okay.
very invasive.
I had mine when I was
It's
little.
just a muscle.
It's a muscle.
It's a muscle that's
Mhm.
that's weak. and it really is just it's corrective surgery is what it is. So like I know, like I said, I had it when I was in my 30s. I want to say got married 2006, so I had it in 2005.
Really?
Yeah, and really invasive. You're in and out, and it takes a couple of weeks to recover. I mean, so you know, a lot of people don't realize they have that option though, that there is a corrective measure for a lazy eye.
Really?
But yeah, I mean,
So
you
my
know,
eyes were actually
somehow we kind of got off the subject.
So-
of asking, but okay.
So in this case, right, growing up in the neighborhood, the Blue Hills community, is tons of kids outside, and I'm wearing an eye patch. I don't think my parents really knew how to treat my situation, my condition. Their goal was to make sure that I had surgery, that my eyes were no longer crossed. You know, it's like, Tasha, we're doing everything we can so that you can be productive in society. So this doesn't set you back, and your opportunities are passed up against you because your eyes are crossed. So their thing was, we love you, but we don't know how to really take care of you being sad all the time.
Wow.
So just imagine that. It was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I was young. I had children.
I understand their motives. I just feel like there's so much more that they could have did, and I really get it. They were just in that moment. That was probably their way to say, I want my child to be as normal as possible, and that was their only way that they can do it. I mean, the good thing is for you, for me, my mother didn't think to go have surgery done for me. I did it on my own, and I did it only because this one particular eye doctor I met, who was really kind, she was just like, oh, you know, this could be corrected. And I said, oh, I never knew that. No one ever told me that. I've been seeing an eye doctor forever.
Wow.
In my 30s, I met this doctor. She says, you know, it can be corrected. And what does she do? She says, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Her husband worked for a prestigious, well-known eye surgeon in Connecticut. Let me tell you, this dude is like amazing. God bless his soul. And she hooked me up with him, and he did my surgery for me.
And that was a part of basically
And my
my
insurance covered it. So,
Wow.
But that was a part of me masking my feelings
So, yeah.
all the time.
yeah,
Because
and I can relate to that
nobody
so much.
really
Yep,
understood
me too.
how I felt. And then people would think that, oh, Tasha is just so aggressive. I had to be aggressive. I had to get tough skin because
Yeah.
you're living
Yes, you
in
do.
the Blue Hills community, and kids coming outside making fake eye patches or pulling my eye patch off, or like, hey, you know, let me see. And you know what? Kids think that's a joke, but then when you go home, you have to deal with those feelings.
Yes,
You know what I mean? So I learned early how to put a mask on. I have to put a mask on when I go to work every day. See, we're wearing these masks now because of COVID, but we've been wearing these masks. They was just
before
invisible.
COVID.
Speak it, girl.
Yeah, they was
That's
invisible.
real talk.
Yes, that
That's real
is
talk.
some serious
Invisible
I want
talk.
to see what some of the folks at home are saying.
Oh my God.
We
I
I
know. Guys, if you are just joining us for our Project Resilience Movement's Saturday chats, we are talking about unmasking and what does that look like, especially in the midst of, mental health awareness. So, join in. I mean, share the live, please. Thank you. And chime in and let us know what you think and how it is that, you're dealing with wearing your mask and what it is that maybe you need to shed at the same
I
time.
see Yolanda's on here, Barbara, Christina.
So,
Thanks for joining, you guys.
yes, definitely. So Barb said, not allowing yourself, when we were talking about like what
Hi,
does
Kanisha.
unmasking, defining it, not allowing yourself to create space, she says. And Yolanda says, people who don't love their kids are not necessarily wicked. They may have some severe mental health problems and they don't know how to love their kids, or they were never loved as children. And
Very
therefore,
true.
they don't know how to love their children.
Very true.
That's true.
100% agree, only because I witness it within my own family. My mother, just when I see and deal with my mother, that's her main issue. She did not receive love, so she didn't know how to give it. And because I had to learn how to do that, is why our relationship is so turmoil.
I've always
Because
thought
I know it and she doesn't.
I've always
weird,
thought
right?
that love is a muscle,
Oh my God.
and so if it's not used, it remains dormant.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like just when you exercise and you're trying to activate and build
Yes.
up your muscle and the muscle stamina and you know what I mean? Like And if it's, if you don't use it, like if it's not passed down, if it's not given or not shown,
Or
this remains dormant.
some people don't hug other folks because they never were hugged. They
No,
never
exactly.
Affection.
no affection.
There's people that don't even know what affection looks feel or should look like.
Or intimacy.
Yep.
It's very uncomfortable for them.
They say like, my mother never hugged me or my dad. We don't do those things.
Right.
It's funny that
our family didn't grow up doing that.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's weird that we understand hurt, pain, trauma, and all those negative things. We latch onto it and we function in that. But something like intimacy, affection, love, attention, all the positive communication, it's things that we struggle with. Isn't that crazy?
It's very true.
It's, oh my God. Yolanda also said, I think that you can expect people for who they are with all their flaws and mistakes as well. They don't keep repeating those mistakes on you. It becomes a constant trauma.
Wow, that's so true.
And hey, Kanisha, thanks for joining. Kanisha says, I was wearing a mask outside while I was living a toxic relationship at home.
Oh my God.
Girl,
that stuff is real. That's real.
I wore one 14 years.
Listen, I did a 10-year bid.
I did 14 years. I did 14 years. I'm fresh out.
She said she did a 10-year bid.
That thing is real. I don't know.
Girl, oh, no comment.
I did 14 hard years. And you know what? He had to die out of it. I couldn't get off the glue trap.
Oh Lord.
I could not get off the glue trap. If he didn't die 3 years ago,
God rest his soul.
I probably would still have one leg. You ever see a mouse it's still alive and just trying to get off the trap? It's like I couldn't get off the trap with him because he would constantly I'm saying we need to separate. It's not working. We need a break. We need I need no counselor. I ain't calling no counselor.
Wow.
What you mean? Just all egotistical and vulgar. And he started drinking, and when he would drink, he would be somebody else. And
oh my God! So that's the whole mask that you have to wear as well.
He's masking his demons with self-medicating.
You know
what I mean?
It was
and the demons are speaking louder than you know what I mean? Like internally than he can manage. Yes. So that's why people self-medicate. It's because their demons or their inner turmoil is dealing with them, and it's louder than their, you know what I mean? Like internally, then they can get out of them. You know what I mean? Like so.
Maxine
and then walking around undiagnosed. Too.
Undiagnosed,
that is real.
Yeah,
that's a lot of folks.
Undiagnosed.
My family alone, I'll tell you, we did some serious bipolar stuff going on up in there.
And the thing about it is, you're walking around undiagnosed, and then you're constantly in a world where you're being, bumping into triggers and traumas. Because you haven't dealt with it. You're constantly bumping into all these triggers and traumas, and because you haven't dealt with it, it just kind of keeps getting bigger and larger than larger than you.
Bigger wounds.
Bigger wounds.
Maxine says she never grew up being hugged. Maxine, I totally 100% relate to that. Because I can tell you I didn't grow up hearing I love you. I remember the first time my mother said I love you, I was in my 20s. And it surprised the heck out of me because she never said I love you. I didn't grow up, we didn't grow up holding each other. We didn't grow up hearing anything that was really positive. It was always just, that. But I will say I kind of felt that was a cultural thing, being West Indian. You hear it a lot in the West Indian community.
Yeah.
So people don't experience that. They don't experience that affection or that attention, that positive, environment.
Yeah, love was making sure you got fed.
Yes.
Went to school.
Yes.
Got your education, and that you were successful in life.
Yeah.
That was love.
And that's how my mom and dad felt about the eye patch thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing this, I'm providing for you. I want you to be successful. I don't want this to hold you back.
Right.
But at the same time, not that they disregarded that I had a situation, but do they really know how to handle it? And then sometimes it's like, can you really be mad? Because we don't, being a parent, it doesn't come with a manual or a guide.
No,
Right?
no.
You survive and you do the best that you can to make sure that your children have.
Yeah, I think if
Man.
I would have liked to hear, at the same time, but I love you regardless of how you look because you're beautiful regardless. I don't know. That might have worked for me. In addition to all the
I want to
other
hear
things.
Kanisha got a point of view.
But Kanisha said, "Oh, that was a bid." She's
Mhm.
referring to you, Dr. Bates.
It was.
Kanisha said, "Sometimes things happen to us for us to get out. Because if he didn't put his hands on me, I probably would have still been there."
Absolutely.
Kanisha, girl, that's a whole conversation right
I'm
there.
gonna throw it at you.
Right. That is a whole conversation, and a lot of us, as women, we are wearing it. It's tough especially when you're a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the mask that we have to interchange every single day.
Yeah.
Just
And
to
the thing
function
about it is, our kids
ridiculous.
already know.
And the kids
And
know.
we're
They
wearing
know.
We're
Yeah.
masking something that they already know the real deal about. They know
Yes.
before we know.
Yeah.
And that's 100%
They
real.
are so
Like
smart.
your kids know before you even figured it out. So you think
Yeah.
you're masking it and like parading.
They're like, okay,
hiding
mommy,
stuff.
so when are you and daddy breaking up?
Right. You know, like they know.
Like, when you gonna stop fake loving him? Jesus.
These
When are you
kids
gonna?
are good.
But you know what? Seriously, and to me, when I hear that, that's a great opportunity to talk to your kids.
Mhm.
Because in that moment that you understand that they understand what's going on, and this is not just anymore like they
Sure.
really freaking get it. Like I'm sitting here miserable, but they get that. They see that I'm miserable.
That's,
They
what
know
made
I'm
me,
miserable.
that's what made me begin to.
And they want you to be
And
happy.
they want
Your
you to
kids-
be happy.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whatever
That's when I
that
started
looks
saying,
like.
I gotta get out of this. I gotta get my peace. I have to save myself.
Yes.
And that was when I first left. But even when I left, I still had my leg on the truck. I had one leg in Brooklyn and one leg was in Staten Island.
My God.
And you know what, too,
That thing is real.
Dr. Wilson, it's you
Yeah.
probably have that leg on that track only because society tells you that if you walk away, you're running.
Mhm.
Society says if this doesn't work, you failed.
Yeah.
So then you have to worry about putting on that mask because society is telling you, as well as everybody else around you, that this is, if you don't stay, that you're not going to be anything. You're not going to, and I really relate to that 100%. But at the same time, and I tell people, like with me, I didn't come. This is a struggle that I have in my relationship. My husband came from a 2-parent relationship. He saw what a marriage should look like. I didn't have that same blueprint.
Mhm.
I'm learning what marriage should look like, what marriage is and what it should look like. But I'm understanding my marriage is not going to look like your parents' marriage.
Right.
You can't fault me for that. You can't get mad at me when I'm not doing what your mother did for your father and vice versa. At the same time, I understand that was your blueprint, but I'm going to have to navigate and figure it out for myself and allow me that space to do so. So that's like where we're at. And that's always a struggle. Like we always say, we don't have anyone to talk to when we have our issues.
Mhm.
We have to learn to talk to each other to work our issues out. Let me tell you, putting on that mask is not an easy mask to always have to put on and take off,
Yeah.
But, for those of you that are married out there, I'm quite sure you get it.
It's real.
It's real.
And the people show up the way they show up because a lot of times they either they haven't dealt with the root of the issue.
Issues, yeah.
And the root of the issue is going back. You got to go back, way back to childhood.
Yes.
Okay, and deal with that stuff. So you show up now in the present because of who you were in the past, and like what you didn't deal with in the past, right? And you're gonna constantly show up, no matter what. Some people think because they switch relationships, that's gonna solve the issue. No. Switching relationships is not going to solve the issue. You're going to keep showing up that way, and that person will continue to show up that way in relationships.
Because no matter where you
Because
go,
no matter where you're going to bring you with you, no matter where you go.
And you're gonna attract the same person.
And you're going to attract the same
Bring the
until
same
you go
trauma,
back to
the
the
same
root.
hurt, the same
I
pain.
showed up. What I realized through therapy, and am still realizing through therapy, is that I show up in relationships as a protector. So my father was a cheater. My father cheated with his wife, and my mom was the person that he had a relationship with outside of their marriage, right? Now I have to go unmask and unpack all of that. One, The second thing is I had to unmask and unpack the fact that I am a protector of cheaters. You know what I mean? Many of the relationships that I have been people that have cheated on me.
Wow.
And I've always kept them and been loyal to them, and even covered the mess.
Their mess.
Their mess, because again, going back to the root of it, which I'm still unpacking, I showed up as a protector to my father, who was you know what I'm saying, who had a relationship with my mom and was cheating on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And because that I had that affinity for my dad, it caused me to show up as that protector in every male relationship that I had going forward. Where I was attracted who? Cheaters.
Look, this conversation can go like so many different ways, and I love where you're going with that. Oh my God.
So can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So when you guys take off your mask, do you feel more empowered
Yes.
Yes.
to be yourself?
Yes.
And to speak your truth?
Yes.
But when you put the mask back on, do it automatically shut you down?
It's a muzzle.
It's a muzzle.
That mask is a muzzle.
It's a muzzle.
I can say for the 10-year relationship that I had, there were things that I felt like I couldn't say because it would be disapproving to my partner, or I would have to catch hell when I get home because I spoke my truth out loud to free somebody else. I would go home and shackled up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
you think you Oprah now?
Oh, look.
oh, yeah. Did you get that too?
Yeah. You
Honey.
Ayala,
Honey.
and now you
You
Ayala.
out here trying to be Oprah and then y'all know.
Yeah. I got all that. You think you Oprah now? Or you
Wait,
think
so I gotta make sure ain't no.
I forgot. You think you Michelle?
Yeah. No, how about this? If I knew you was gonna be into all this empowerment stuff, then I wouldn't took you serious.
Listen, does empowerment pay you?
All right.
I'm gonna read Kanisha's. I'm gonna read
Kanisha.
Kanisha's. Look, Kanisha said her son told her once during. She said, my son told me once during that, Mommy, I've never seen you cry.
My grandma.
Man, that's deep. And she also says, yes, forever trying to put on a Band-Aid instead of treating the root cause. The same person you're trying to get away from is just going to keep showing up in other people until you learn the lesson. Kanisha, girl, we don't have to do a whole.
That's a whole nother PRM chat.
I'm coming for you because look, you're
going to be the guest, honey.
Look, I am about to do an event on July 31st, so I'll put a save the date out there that I am doing with You're in a Goddess Experience is going to be doing an event along with every kind of lady that we're putting together an unmasking event. So look for the event invite, because I'm trying to tell you, like, there's going to be a lot there. And Kanisha, I'm coming for you because I'm gonna need you there as well.
Yeah.
So July 31st, if put it on your calendar, please. That's what I'm asking.
Put it on your calendar.
I would be happy to participate. I mean, if asked.
Yes,
I know.
I would love to be there too.
I would love to.
However.
Okay, y'all. Let me go back to the to my agenda. But guys, look, we're trying to keep you for no more than an hour. It is 83 degrees outside.
How long does this been?
Look, Project Resiliency Movement, we are getting ready to do our spring bonfire this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Be there.
Bonfire.
Okay, Bridge Healing Center in Farmington.
Come on out and breathe, sis.
If you are not doing anything at all, look, I know it's a busy day. I've heard there's weddings,
Graduation parties,
birthday parties, baby showers, all kinds of stuff going on.
Come before, after, during.
Come before, after, during. Exactly. Okay, you can buy your ticket right at the door, and Tasha will be there to help you.
Absolutely.
So,
And come to
I
Girls
should be
Night.
there to greet you.
Come to Dr. Wilson's Girls Night in tour tonight.
yes, and Dr. Wilson is doing
after
a
party.
pajama party.
Girls Night in
Girls
kickoff.
Night. So contact her to get the details. Look, I'll leave you guys with this, and this has been an amazing conversation. So thank you guys for coming and chiming in, because wow, we can sit here for hours talking. Actually, I know I can.
And we do.
I know, right?
Talking.
Right now, I feel like I need to, but we got stuff to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I have my mask on right now.
Look. Let me stop. Okay, so in understanding that we do wear a mask. And we didn't even get into like, you know, the great benefits of wearing a mask versus, you know, not versus wearing the mask because we have to,
When
right?
you need to.
When you need to.
Mm-hmm.
But understanding it's learning to set aside some time for yourself to figure it out. Find healthy distractions so you're not wearing it as so much, right? Spend time outside, people. You don't have to wear a mask outside. Well, you do, right? But not the mask that we put on to shield up, right?
Physical and emotional, right?
Utilize your senses. Prioritize your self-care because self-care is a great way to help you remove that mask, right?
Yes.
Set clear boundaries with people. It's trust me,
okay.
It's okay. Give
You know
yourself
what, Hillary?
permission to do that.
Boundaries
It's
is
okay.
it's like a muscle. Like you said, love is a
Yes.
muscle.
Mhm.
Boundaries are a muscle, and I'm still dealing with them.
Mhm.
Because
Yes, I like the way you said that.
I love
Boundaries
Kendra.
is a
Kendra
muscle.
has a cup, and every time Kendra can work. Every time I look at it when I get my nails done, it just is like it makes my heart happy. She has a cup in her shop that says "Be you, they'll adjust," and I'm like,
Oh, I have a
Yes.
T-shirt that says that. That's my favorite T-shirt.
yes, so
Yes.
true. Just
Yes.
be you, and people will adjust.
But do you
what I mean?
know that a lot of adults have never had boundaries? We've never been taught what a boundary was.
We've never been taught.
Look,
Because you know what it is, people have always, you know, invaded everybody else's, especially in families. A lot of times, we're just taught to be each other's business.
But you know what? It brings
and
it back to the
everything
generational foolery.
Yep.
Because they will tell you, that's your sister, get over it.
Mhm.
Right.
That's your brother,
I
get
was
over
gonna say
it.
that.
Oh, that's your uncle, don't tell nobody. Like, I don't even want to get it. Look, we gotta go
That's a
deeper,
whole nother
Hillary.
show.
That's a whole nother
That's a
show.
whole nother
When we-
show.
When you get into the stuff they want you to sweep under
Hi,
the rug
Cherie.
and the boundaries that they want you to continue, I draw a line in the sand, and a line in the sand is a
Hi,
boundary.
Nadine.
But your
Nadine,
mother tell you
I-
draw another line.
I love what you said.
That's our 2021.
Yes.
Yes. Let's get
Yes,
that hashtag
Nadine.
going.
I freaking love
Hashtag
it.
Mass Off
That's-
2021. I'll
yes.
start using that one.
Oh my God, I think I
Yes.
will be getting a shirt made for
Mhm.
the event for that. I love that.
I
Thank
love
you,
it.
just prove to you right here in this session that when you take your mask off, each and every one of us have felt empowered,
Yes.
stronger, and we became more vocal.
Yes. Yes.
Because you're in a space where you're given permission to do so. And I
Yeah.
think that goes back to my original point, which is you have to have spaces where you're given permission and room to be you, right? And you know what I mean? And people don't hold you hostage for it. They don't hold you in bondage for it. But they hold you accountable for the fact that they want you to be yourself and show up as yourself. Those spaces are where you need to be.
And
2021.
we also have to extend the same grace that we expect people to give us
Absolutely.
to ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah. And to the person that we literally want to give it to. And let me see. Oh, Kanisha says, I was in a study group the other day and they asked her to list 5 to 10 most trusted people.
Wow.
All these people were like, it's family. I only had 1 or 2 that were family. Family needs boundaries too.
Yes, they do, honey.
They do.
That a whole nother
That's
show.
a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother girl. That's a whole nother
Yes.
conversation. Because my
I
last,
think we should do one just on boundaries.
Yes.
And the importance of them, and who to be
My-
using for, and
my last
how we set them up.
help tip for protecting yourself when you're masking is pick your circles wisely. Pick your circles wisely. And with Tanisha, what you
just add to
saying,
that is you do have a choice. You have a choice in terms of which circles you choose to participate in, and which ones you don't. So don't let anybody make you feel like you don't. You have a choice. Like you do.
choice is a superpower.
Yeah.
And just because you got
Hashtag
that doesn't mean you always need to accept it.
Yeah.
There
And
you
it
go.
does not mean you always need to sit at that table. Because
Every table
everybody
ain't for you, sis.
feel as if
I need to
if
get
I
that
don't get invited, they
Keep
feel
making
like they're
shirts.
not invited, like they have to be at every event or at every table. No, you don't need to have a seat at every table because you don't know what that seat means.
You don't know what's being served.
And you don't know what that's gonna cost you.
Right.
Yeah.
That seat might cost you your liberties, your freedom, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
your ethics, your morals, your values. You don't know what that seat's gonna cost
Make no moves without God.
Right. Being set up, put in the hot seat.
Look, as I said, choice is a superpower. We're gonna hashtag that and put that on the
Yes,
shirt.
it is.
And we are all living in the results of the choices we've made.
Girl, stop. She said it is. My son
gotta-
has a book on the power of choice.
Mhm.
Nice. I like that. I'm gonna have to get that for myself as well. Because like I said, it was my little hashtag I just made up. But I love it.
I love it.
Look, guys, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And again, in about 2 hours, Project Resiliency Movement Spring Bonfire. That's where we're going to be. Bridge Healing Center in Farmington,
Yes.
4 o'clock.
Meet us
4
there.
p.m.
O'clock. Beat us there.
Yes.
Yes.
And come get your noon juice.
I will
If
be at
Dr.
the-
Jackie will be signing her personal
Yes.
copies of her new Jew book. So meet
Oh,
us
is
there.
that my copy?
If you want it.
Okay, because you know,
This is the
you
first
bought my
book out the
copy.
box.
You bought my autographed copy, right?
I haven't signed. This is my first time seeing the book, Hillary.
Oh, well,
Wow.
okay. So you didn't bring my autographed copy.
They're in Dr. Bay's trunk.
Okay.
Anyway, we wish y'all a
Look,
deal.
I'm just saying.
See y'all at
you guys
Bonfire.
have your
See y'all at
comments.
Bonfire.
You guys have a
See you.
great
I love you guys.
Saturday, rest of your Saturday, but we want to see you at Bonfire. So
Yes, and the rest of Connecticut.
I'll be
just
waiting
know,
on you guys.
Just know, you guys, you're so special to me. That is why I'm up here and I'm doing my book and staying the whole weekend. And you guys show me so much love. So I love you all. Project Resiliency Bees. I know I'm a bee. Y'all ain't give me no bee shirt, but I'm a bee. I'm the only New York bee. Resiliency bee.
Honorary.
I
You
give
are
her
an
an
honorary. That's up to you.
I'm an honorary bee, guys.
That's right.
Dr. Wilson is here. So come hang out with us.
Okay, so thank you again for joining us.